bridge the gap between saying awful things about yourself and saying wonderful things about yourself. Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Patiently Moving, where we patiently move through the self-love journey. I'm your host, Candice J. Dunkley. So happy to have you back. Listen, last week we were talking about self-esteem, how to level up that Last week we were talking about self-esteem, how to level up how you feel about yourself. And I mentioned one thing, bridge statements. Bridge statements, if you've ever dealt with self-hatred, self-dislike, a lack of love for yourself, this is very helpful. It's a very helpful tool. We all know that what we say to ourselves, what we say about ourselves, plays a big part in how we treat ourselves. Sometimes, though, it can be very hard to go from 0 to 100. That's where bridge statements come in. They basically help you to bridge the gap between saying awful things about yourself and saying wonderful things about yourself. It helps you to say something that you actually believe, because if you're trying to speak more highly of yourself and you're giving yourself pep talks and saying all these things, but you don't actually believe what you're saying, that can be frustrating and then in turn cause even more negative feelings. And that is what you're trying to sort through, right? So bridge statements are very helpful. And so we're gonna go through it in a little bit. Basically, my life coach at the time helped me with that. Shout out to Paula from I'm Busy Being Awesome. And basically at the time I was about 20 pounds heavier and I was just unhappy with my stomach. It was a distraction. And, she was trying to get me to think more positively. And she's like, okay, so think about why it bothers you. And I'm just like, why wouldn't it bother me? And I just couldn't get to a more positive place. And so, or not at that moment. And she said, so cool, why don't we try going halfway? If saying I love my stomach doesn't feel believable right now, what about I have a stomach? And I was like, I have a stomach. I was like, sure, let's go with that. So I started saying it, I have a stomach, and it really did help with how I felt about myself, because I started to think, oh yeah, I do have a stomach. And what are stomachs used for? They're used to digest food. I have a stomach, I'm happy I have a stomach, even more happy that I have a working stomach. I'm going to be grateful for it. And me showing gratitude for myself actually helped me to be nicer to myself, helped me to feel better about myself. And those feeling better about myself helped me to treat myself better, which included eating healthier and exercising. It wasn't perfect every day, but like I said, this was maybe a couple years ago, and 20 pounds down. So it definitely did help. So if you are dealing with something that frustrates you and telling yourself the complete opposite about yourself doesn't seem to be working for you, try a bridge statement and let that statement can be your personal affirmation. Meet yourself halfway. Let me know what you think. And if you like this video, you will, I'm sure, like my self-love mantra. You can play it for yourself if you're ever feeling down about yourself, or if you're feeling good about yourself and you just want to live in that moment. Do it up. All right, well, that is all for today. Remember, you deserve to love you, and the world will be a better place when you do. I will see you later.